Hello everyone, welcome back to Gelvin Valley Farming Simulator 15 by Wild Wild Wes. You know, it's been, oh goodness, maybe it's been over 2 months since I've been in here and made an episode or have even touched the map, so I figured I would start just by looking at the map as a whole to refamiliarize myself. The last thing that I remember doing is we purchased a number of new fields, and I'm looking at them here. I know that this one here was plowed, and I believe we headed up here, or maybe I did that off cam to get it up to this field. So I know I have field number 21, which is in two parts, field number 12, and field number 47. So I have a little bit of work to do to get these all ready to go. I kind of think I have a bunch of rocks over here to pick up at some point. So I have a fair amount of work to get done. And so just was looking at these. I know I got 3 more to go, plus all these other fields, you know, that have already been planted or ready to go. But you know, I can't remember if I fertilized them, so that's something I'm going to need to check out. Plus, I have the sheep, and as I look over here, I want to make sure they have plenty of food. I see 20,000 liters. I don't remember what math that I ran to see, you know, just how long that'll tide them over. I mean, I have 600 of the things, you know, so I'm pleased to see they're generating wool. Don't remember, there were several pallets. Yeah, so, and speaking of grass, I know I have several bales sitting way down over here, maybe it's right in here where the sheep are. I know I have several bales sitting there, 4,000 liters a pop or something like that. And there's a little more that I think I can pick up in here, kind of the fiasco I went through in mowing in an area that I really had no business mowing in, but I seem to recall there's a little bit more. Now then, out in the field, you know, one of the things I'm noticing is, you know, around the edge of these fields, I have some grass, and I don't know if I'm being imprudent here by just tilling it under. So I have half a notion to bring over, what to do. It's just, it would take forever and a day to haul all of the grass that's over here and take it over to the sheep. And I'm not even sure if I have a place to store it loose or if I'd have to bale it. So a part of me is kind of wrestling with not wanting to waste the grass that I have, because of course I'm just going to go around the edge. I'm going to be plowing it under and losing some of the grass here. So, you know, I have a bunch of hungry sheep, and I think maybe I want to take a little measured approach at this. So okay, there we go. Or let me look at the map here one more time. This is way up top here. The sheep are way down here. I probably have a similar situation over here. It'd be a little bit closer. But what to do. And you know, I didn't do that over here. I think I just tilled it up. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna go from tilling here to maybe cutting some. I don't know that I want to do it loose. It almost seems like it would be easier to handle if I turned it into hay and or maybe grass bales of some kind and fed it to them. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go get my other tractor here, and I'm going to drop the trailer and just head on up the hill to go fetch my hay cutting equipment, which I kind of in the past couple episodes said, well, I'm going to leave it up here by the sheep. But I'm a little concerned that that I'm not going to have enough grass for 600 sheep. So yeah, this I was kind of coming in here anticipating I would get plowing again, and I think I will at some point. But I'm thinking of all that grass over there, and I just really don't want to have it go to waste. So we're gonna haul some equipment over there, and that will be that. First, I gotta head on up the hill to go get this, and this time I'm gonna try to cut the grass appropriately. Obviously didn't know what I was doing. Previous time I got some comments. Thanks a lot for helping me understand how a trailed mower is supposed to be. I knew you could flop it to one side or the other, but of course some of these tighter areas up here I just kind of opted to put it behind the tractor, directly behind versus off to the side. But I will try to do it properly. Yeah, see, all of these fields, as it just something that just hit me here again as I came back in here. Maybe that's why it was good to put the map down for a little while. One of the premises that Wes had in the map, as I recall, was that all the fields are grazed, and they're all grazed out, in other words, and only on the outer edges of the fields is there a little bit of grass. Well, I'm wondering, given the time it takes for grass to grow, I'm thinking it might be useful to harvest it, and instead of just tilling it under. Yeah, I've already got the field up there tilled under, and the one up top. Because of that, this one up here had solid grass, but the ones lower were, quote, grazed, so they're gonna end up getting replanted, at least to the standard grass. So let me see if I can sneak in here without doing too much damage. Of course, I since have heard from Wes that he didn't intend for anybody up here to really harvest grass out of these fields. He only intended that, silage would maybe be delivered because the guy, he's a retired farmer, has a couple cows in there. So I don't know what he's going to think, when we get to this episode and he sees all the horsing around in here that I've done. But that's okay. I just took the storyline a little bit different. Alright, now what's the quickest way? I'm way over here. I need to get up to 22. It's probably quickest if I just head back down the way I came. Yeah. So, I will see you all in a little bit when I get to the other side of this. Alright folks, here we are, kind of up to the field. I'm gonna try to set this up. Let me see if I can get this down. Oops, it already was down. That was kind of a blunder. Now, let me try to get up here to where I can take it to the side. Oh, I don't know what it's mowing off there. What is it? Oh yeah, there'll be plenty of good grass to get in here. So, oops, I think I want to do it that way. Is that kind of the way to do it? Someone please tell me if I'm doing it kind of right. I'm trying to get in here. Get around this corner. Yeah, so I really don't know how much grass this is going to yield. Yeah, see, I think that's why instinctively I like trailing it behind me, because wherever I drive is wherever it cuts the grass. And of course, it isn't going to mow off that bush. We'll get something off of here. We'll get something. Already, word has it the sheep feel this was a beneficial move, so they're going to continue producing wool for me. Yeah, I guess it gets kind of skinny in here. You know, really I should be having a more powerful tractor, probably towing this thing around, but it doesn't seem to be doing too bad towing this. Okay, this is going between the fields. Maybe I'll just kind of go down in this gully. Maybe this side doesn't have as much grass either. Maybe there isn't as much grass available as I was thinking. I gotta be careful because I do want to get it. I don't want it just to be lost in the area where I can't grab it or whatever, so stay. And this is another question I guess I would have for Wes as he sees it, you know. Is this something y'all would do over there if you, well, I guess if the fields are grazed out, it's probably unlikely that they would just have strips of grass available around the outer edges. You know, frankly, if it's grazed out, the animals probably would have, you know, eaten all the grass around the edges as well as in the middle. So perhaps, you know, this was just to drive home the point, you know, that it was all eaten up and nothing here. But anyway, maybe I should be more aggressive and take more. I'm just trying to get a little bit, maybe, shoot, I don't know. I'm blowing this episode all to smithereens. Maybe I could gather it up loose. Boop. Getting kind of stuck in the trees here. Just gotta stay out of these mean fences that Wes has here all over. You try to stay out of the ditch. That's gonna end up throwing some grass. Ditch. Alright, maybe the next round will be a little bit easier. Yeah, I'm not gonna get too much on this round. I just figured I would try to be resourceful and gather as much as I could. Like I say, I'm probably just taking time chasing pennies while leaving dollars unattended to. That's... you know who's going to comment. It's going to be my friend Russell, who's maybe going to chew me out for doing this. I'd probably be money ahead if I just bought the hay instead of tried to cup my own. Try to lift this bugger. That doesn't seem to make much difference. We're actually close to the edge of the map up here. Kind of looking off into, I haven't lowered, yeah, kind of looking off into the abyss over there. Good old Gelvin Valley. Yes, I probably need to bring the windrower over here. I think I own one of those. Yeah, see, it's been so long since I've been in here. I don't even know what I have and what I don't. Try to get around this corner again. So I don't know. We're several hundred episodes into this, obviously. Some of you who have suffered along with this thing, seen what I've done or what I should have done. What would you do? I'm just thankful to be able to get some new fields, get some new real estate. Yeah, I'm going to clip that too. Why not? So at some point, these are all going to be arable in here. We're going to have crops. And, I think at some point I sold my combine. I think I probably need to be getting larger machinery so I can get through it quicker. But I don't know. I'm giving these sheep a go. I want to see if they can make me some decent wool. Although, I think I've noticed, I've already fast-forwarded through one night, and I don't think they produced wool, when you fast-forward. So, I don't know. Alright, I think we've clipped everything over here that we can clip. There's maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I just don't want to be too greedy. Don't want to be too greedy. Let me head back over to this side and we'll start clipping away on here. Like I say, I think we're going to get something out of it. I think it'll be worth it. It's just an extra little pain in the patoodle, as they say. This magic mower won't touch those bushes. It'll clip the grass. See, there's a bunch of grass I wish I could get at, and, well, no I don't. Even as I am lusting after grass on the other side of the fence. I'll get plenty. I'll get what I need. I don't know how it's going to behave like a pendulum. Must be a little steep in here. Yes, it is. All of the fields are steep, and I love it. And if I get a larger combine as I harvest these in here, it means I'm no longer going to have my hillside. So I'm kind of bummed about that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get the thing back and use it anyhow. Alright, this side of the property seems to have more grass available than the other side, so sneak down through here. And this is kind of just a one-shot deal, right? I'd have to literally replant everything in grass in order to get it. So really, the way Wes set all this up, pretty clever. When he says they're all grazed out, he left nothing. That's part of the reason why I love this map and why it's so doggone hard is, he could have designed it by leaving grass in all these fields. Then you would at least have something you could go clip off or whatever and turn into hay before you tilled it under. But he didn't. He left it pretty much denuded, so we don't have as much to work with. Nothing's easy. I was looking at my past notes. I think it was, literally a couple months ago when I was in here. I think the last topic that I was blabbering on about in here was on railroad games. And I was gonna, this episode, assuming I was just gonna come in here and pull a plow or something, there's a local railroad situation I wanted to comment on. We probably all have a story we could tell about a local railroad situation. So I'll maybe save that for another episode here. So I'm just ruminating and trying to think on what I'm gonna do. I still have, I'm overjoyed to see how much I have in the bank, but I also remember it is backed by an enormous debt, so I am still in the hole and working my tail off to come out from under. Alright, maybe one more loop and we'll have it done. There, maybe pull a little bit quicker if I turn the mower off. There ain't nothing to mow out here because it was permanently grazed. Just doesn't regrow. So, but yeah, what would you do? Would you come after this grass, or is this just a fool's errand? I'm still trying to figure that out, whether this is going to just be more trouble than it's worth. It's got an interesting sky over there. Got the good old sky swap going on this map. So deviate from the sky West chose for the map. Yeah, it's not even consistent in here. I was hoping I could get 3 rounds at least, but I'm not seeing I'll be able to do that. This is already done. Yeah, definitely I think it'd probably be worthwhile to drag the keeper down, the windrower up here, and try to bunch this up just a little bit. Make it a little easier to pick up. And this is where it'd be really handy to have another tractor. Now I remember, I did have a really good tractor, lots of horsepower muscle that I was leasing to pull the plow, but I think the one that I have will pull it well enough. So I ended up turning the lease back, once it expired, just to try to conserve a little more capital. Because even though I do have 100 G's in the bank, I think it's we're going to use it. And I did replant, right? Okay, growing. Yeah. Well, so's the grass now around the edge. Alright, one more little dab, and we're going to need to go fetch some additional toys. Alright, I think that'll do. See if I can find a somewhat decent area to park this. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna go drop this at field number 12. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna just head down over the hill and we're gonna mow that sucker. Let's just get the mowing done. Is this up? Okay, now we're up. We're just going to get the mowing done. This is going to be a mowing episode for those of you that like a lot of grass work. Haven't been down this road in eons, it feels like. Yeah, we used to own some property over in here, a couple fields, like this one just to the left of the tractor over here. But not anymore. Alright, I think we want to go left. Yes, we do. There's a road. We'll go down over here. I think we ended up selling the field to help afford some larger areas, so we gave it up. maybe someday we'll own it again. The little fields, you know, they can be difficult to deal with. Isn't there a road down here? Aha, there it is. Yeah, we also had this field over here to the left of us. Kind of skinny looking. You know, it never was arable. I guess we only had it. We did a little bit of hay. This is a long time ago. Hey, you know what, Wes? There's another ditch in here. I probably should. That one has bulrushes. I probably should have water in it. It's interesting. There is straw in there. We didn't have arable, did we? I wonder where the straw came from. Anyways, good old field number 17. Not in there any longer. Can I come up to the top here? What is this, by the way? It's kind of a home. Russell, is this your home? Does that look like it? Maybe a place to store. Maybe Russell owns this beautiful piece of real estate. The most expensive field on the map, I think, is this one up here. You know, right up here on the flat. 15 is pretty spendy. I looked into buying that one, but I just couldn't totally swing it. So we'll save it for another time. Right now belongs to a neighbor. We'll whip through the stop sign here. I think it's down along. Yeah, here comes the one we own, number 12. And I assume we're going to have a little bit of grass here. Also, how do we... Okay, perfecto. We get in right here. What do we got here? Supreme Milk Dairy. Oh yeah, there's a dairy back in here, or a place to all milk. Okay. Oops, no, but I think I want to go this way if I want to go. There we go, good enough. We'll see if that works when we get in here. You know, this is interesting. I haven't noticed this in some other fields, but there's a little trough. You know, maybe I'm going to try to notice on some other fields. Wes, if you see this, I'd be curious. You know, the story you have in your map, in the map notes, again, repeating, is that all of these fields have been grazed. So this would have to have been a water trough or something. I guess I've never noticed in the other fields if it had similar water troughs. That's a cool touch there. Very interesting. Details, folks. And that is one area where the best mappers always excel, is putting in details in their maps. That's something I'm all thumbs at. Let's see how much of a slope. Okay, we can work with that. Probably should be getting closer to the fence, but all these other pesky bushes in the way. Yeah, this isn't too steep. That's not bad. Try to swing. Oh, yeah, there's another bush. It isn't going to take it off. I think it'd be Farm Sim 19 before it started flattening these other foliage or bushes in here. We'd have to set things up. Oh, there's a fence post. Wait a minute. I'm hitting a fence right there, but it'll let me... Alright, that one didn't have collisions on it, thankfully. Alright, this here is going to only give us one strip, it appears. That kind of steep. No, we should be able to get... We are just trying to feed our hungry sheep. How quickly do they use it, by the way? Wasn't it 22? I can't remember. I'm going to have to look at the tape. I thought it was 22,000. Surely it hasn't used 2,000 liters already. Maybe I didn't remember correctly. Alright, here, yeah, is aware of a player. If I was better, I would stay away from the edge. That kind of wrecks immersion. But he tried to cover it here with all this foliage. Trouble is when a dipsy doodle like me gets too close to the edge. I probably should be farming it kind of like this and staying away from the edge, and then you don't notice. The trouble is, it's harder for me to drive. There is the bell. Get beyond this rock patch. Oh, that would be a thunderous gavunk going over a rock like that. Now, okay, interesting. We're going to have a tree to navigate here. And, you know, I do have. Oh, hey, interesting. Firewood. Great demand. I do have a chainsaw, so I'm wondering if this tree needs to go. The more I look at it, the more I think that that's true, but this probably isn't the time or place to... Hey, well, maybe I can't even cut the tree if it has no collisions. I'll have to see what to do with that there, though, because I could see that causing problems. Ditto with the tree here. You know what? I've seen this on some apps. Wes would have to say if he did this deliberately with the intent that the player would take out some of these trees. I just don't know what Wes's intentions were in that regard. I think that that's possibly what I'm going to do on some of this. So some of these... Oh, another fence post. Oh, and then we got this back part of this video. Anyway, we're obviously off in the toolies here, trying to work on our grass. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride. A little bit different from what I was intending, but we're just trying to keep our hungry sheep satisfied. Thanks for coming along. You have a wonderful day. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.